welcome you aboard the diesel vessel Hiawatha. Your captain this tour is Gordy, our engineer is Ray, and I'm Deidre, your narrator. We're happy you're here. We're going to show you some of the sights on the river and tell you a little bit about them. The whole trip's on the St. Mary's River today. Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan is where you got on board. Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, Canada is over to our right there to the north. They're a little bigger than us. We're 14,000 people. They're 76. Up ahead of us about 16 miles is Lake Superior, and behind us about 14 miles at the mouth of the St. Mary's River is Lake Huron. For your safety, please do not stand on the benches or chairs. Sit on the back of the benches or allow the children to do so. Also, please do not sit on the railing of the upper deck or in the windows of the lower deck. Watch your step on the decks, which can be slippery, and at all times use the handrail on the stairway. Children must be closely supervised at all times while on the vessel because accidents can happen so quickly, especially in an unfamiliar place. Please do not allow children on the lower deck without your adult supervision. On behalf of the environment, we ask that you not throw paper and other debris over the side or onto the decks. Waste baskets are available for your convenience. Life preservers are located behind the pilot house and under the green benches on the upper deck and in the overhead storage area of the lower deck. Instruction sheets showing you how they're worn are located at the top of the stairway on the upper deck and up forward on the lower deck. Clean restrooms, or as we call them aboard ship heads, are located on the lower deck to the right of the stairs, and our snack bar, which is in the front or bow of the lower deck, will open later in the tour after we lock up bound. Our captain has been in contact with the chief lockmaster of the American Locks. We have been given permission to use the Poe, the larger and newer of the two locks, on the American side, so we're headed in that direction.
Hey, we're moving.
Sorry,
No, it's okay.
it's me, not a bug. So, Sophie, did you notice? Did you hear what she said? This is Canada.
On our left here is the museum ship Valley Camp. There are over 100 displays in her cargo hold, including 2 lifeboats from the Edmund Fitzgerald, which was lost in a November 1975 storm with all hands. There's also an exhibit about the Eastland disaster on there right now. That was 100 years ago this month, and considered the largest loss of life on the lakes. There were a bunch of people on a day excursion. They all ran to say goodbye to their folks, and 800 and some died 19 feet from the dock down in Chicago, so that's on there. The vessel was built in 1917, retired in the 1960s, and it was the largest American museum ships on the Great Lakes, one of the largest, and the city got it during its 300th birthday celebration in 1968. On the other side of the city marina are some of Michigan's oldest buildings. The green building is the office of the Camp Coal Company. It's an industrial museum today. The brown building was the home of Bishop Frederick Baraga, the first Catholic bishop of the Upper Peninsula. The yellow structure was the home of Indian agent Henry Schoolcraft and his office. His writings were used by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow for the epic poem Hiawatha. And the little white house was the home of Irish fur trader John Johnston and his Ojibwe wife Niingay. It's the second oldest residence in the state after the Biddle House on Mackinac Island. Concrete Tower Inland is the Tower of History. It's 210 feet high with 5 observation platforms near its top, reachable by elevator. The red and green harbor tugs are owned by Great Lakes Towing Company and are used to assist ocean-going vessels as they enter the American Locks. U.S. Coast Guard Sector Sault Ste. Marie is one of the largest on the Great Lakes. It's responsible for search and rescue, marine safety, port operations, and vessel inspections on the northern Great Lakes. Ships contact the Coast Guard by radio at certain checkpoints on the river. Usually the Katmai Bay is tied up at this end. She was the first of the 140-foot class of ice-breaking tugs to operate on the lakes. She's away, but the buoy tender Buckthorn is here. She maintains buoys and aids to navigation like the ones you see on the pier. Next on the left is the Corps of Engineers Marine Basin, and the Corps checks the depth of the shipping channel with the state-of-the-art survey vessel, the Boofy, which was on a trailer up there at the head of the pier, but I saw that they were getting ready to take it out the other day, not there anymore. Wherever it finds that the water is less than 30 feet deep, tugs and barges like the Nicolay, that self-powered barge there, are used to dredge it. The larger vessel, the Paul Bunyan, lifts the gates of the American Locks when they need repairs, and it can lift up to 300 tons. Up ahead here are the American Locks. They were built to bypass the St. Mary's Rapids. They were formed by a 21-foot difference in land elevation between Lake Superior and Lake Huron, and ships have been locking down to the Soo to avoid the rapids since 1855. There are 4 locks here. Only 2 of them are being used. The 2 to the left, one to the far left there has an ocean-going boat. I think I heard the Elbow board or something like that. We'll see when we get up in there. Looks like one of those handy-sized ones from Germany. Sansa, one of the Sansa boats, I think. Anyway, we're going to use the second lock, which is a larger and newer of the locks. The first one opened in 1943 during World War II, and it's named for General Douglas MacArthur. It's 800 feet long, 80 feet wide, and 33 feet deep at this level. It takes 10 million gallons of water to raise the vessel to the upper level there. The second one was named for General Orlando M. Poe of the United States Army Corps of Engineers. It's the Poe Lock. Opened in 1969. It's 1,200 feet long, 110 feet wide, and 34 feet deep at this level. 22 million gallons of water are needed to raise the vessel to the upper level there. And it's the only one big enough for 1,000-foot-long super freighters. I haven't seen any of those yet today, but there's 13 of them, all American flags on the Great Lakes. They're too big to ever fit out of the Great Lakes here. They won't go down the Welland Canal at Niagara Falls. There's two other locks over here to the right that aren't used anymore. That's the Davis, built in 1914, and the Sabin, built in 1919. They're still plenty long for the ships at 1,300 feet, but shallow and too narrow for the bigger guys that want to come through here now. So they want to build another big one over there in that location. Another big lock in that location because there's so much of the bigger traffic that has to come through here. There's no charge for any vessel to use the locks, no matter how big they are, what they're carrying, or where they're from. It's the state of Michigan. The American locks are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week from March 25th to January 15th. As close to navigation single locks are during this time damage repaired and left behind begins. See, we're going to have some company in here. There are two other little boats up ahead of us there. When the new season begins, there could be up to 5 feet of ice on the upper Great Lakes. The United States Coast Guard sends icebreakers up here to break a path all the way across Lake Superior so the ships can cross, and they are accompanied by the icebreakers so they can make it on their own.
They do.
At least 100 million tons of freight passes through the Soo Locks each navigating season. Most of the freight is taconite iron ore pellets from mines on the western shore of Lake Superior. About 2/3 of all the taconite produced in the United States and Canada goes through the locks here at the Soo. Lake freighters mainly carry taconite iron ore pellets, coal, and limestone. Ocean vessels generally haul these into the green products for countries all over the world. We'll be tying on the right-hand side of the boat. We do need to ask folks please to stay clear of the yellow painted areas on the right side of the upper deck while we're in here. We're just passing a low set of winter gates that's used in the wintertime so they could drain the lock. This boat over to our left is the HHLB, which was built in Bremen, Germany. It's from Germany. It's a German company. Built in 2008, and it's 454 feet long and 69 feet wide, which is what they call handy size. I think it can go into the canals and stuff in Germany and other parts of Europe. There's two sets of gates here. One of those will close behind us after we enter the lock. The other is a spare set. Up ahead of us, the water is 3 feet from the top of those gates, which is 21 feet higher than where we are now. To raise and lower the water in the locks, they use large tunnels under the floor of the lock, and those tunnels extend beyond the gates at both ends. There are valves. The gates behind us and the valves in those tunnels behind us will be closed, so no water can leave this lock. They'll open the valves up ahead, and the higher water will flow under the gates and into the tunnels, all by gravity. No pumps are used for this, but you will see that the water goes up 21 feet, and once we are up as high as we can go there, no more water can come into this lock. We will be able to open the gates. There won't be any pressure on them, and we'll be able to continue our tour. There's going to be 22 million gallons of water coming in here in about 20 minutes to raise us up that 21 feet, so it's about 1 million gallons of water in there. And the gates are closing behind us.
Oh yeah, no, they moved. Oh yeah, they did.
It was there, it just didn't have that name. This is that one.
Oh, then.
So I Zillion years.